What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, I'm going to make a video about Deontay Wilder's status as an American boxing star and compare it to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And the reason I'm going to do this is because it is very clear that people from the UK who come to my channel leaving comments know very, very little about boxing in the United States. So you can consider this video US Boxing for Dummies that I'm doing for UK fans. Okay? That's what I'm going to do here. I am going to explain to you why it is, what the most important things to understand about boxing in the United States as it relates to Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury. Okay? I'm going to walk through them slowly for you so that when you leave these comments in my comment section, if you've listened to the video, you will probably already have your questions answered. Okay? Now, before I do that, welcome back, subscribers. To those that are not subscribed, I would hope that you'd accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can participate in the live streams that we do every morning, Monday through Friday, at the least, sometimes on the weekends, around 10:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay? Now, when I was in school, I had a professor who taught me, I think it was legal writing, that told me, tell him what you're going to tell him. Tell him what you told him. Okay? It's a mechanism by which you deliver a message. This is what I'm going to tell you. Deontay Wilder is the U.S. heavyweight star. Deontay Wilder. Not Tyson Fury, not Anthony Joshua. Okay? That is my main point. The most prominent and popular heavyweight in the United States is Deontay Wilder. Not Tyson Fury, not Anthony Joshua. I know that sounds mind-boggling to people who do not live in the United States of America. Okay? But let me explain to you how this works, how pay-per-view numbers work, why I could predict pretty much how many pay-per-views Deontay Wilder was going to do. I can tell you pretty much how many Canelo Alvarez would do based on the person that they fight. We're going to talk about U.S. boxing demographic. Who are the boxing fans in the United States? Because in order to be a star, you need fans. There is an established group of boxing fans in the United States, roughly categorized as avid fans and casual fans. But before you ever get to the casual fans, you have to establish yourself with the avid fans. And those avid fans in the United States are divided into two distinct groups at the moment. At the moment. Let me tell you who those are. But before I do that, let me walk you through the structure of boxing in the United States. You have the owners of boxing. You have the fans. Okay? Owners, I'm referring to the people that own the product, the people that own the mechanisms of communication, right? The people who are selling. Better than owners and buyers are sellers and buyers. Going on rough demographics, the sellers are the promoters, the distribution networks, and the fighters. Got it? You can throw managers in there too. Promoters, managers, distribution networks, and fighters. Very high level there, okay? Then you have the people that buy, the buyers. They are the people that subscribe to the networks that televise them and the people that buy pay-per-view. The person that makes the star are the fans. And the fans are two demographics of fans that are most significant in the U.S. market. They are Spanish-speaking fans, primarily Mexican fans, and African-American fans. There was a speech given by Steven Espinoza who broke down the distributorship, the breakdown of the demographics of the fans in the boxing fans in the United States, the people who are buying, right? The people who are buying Deontay Wilder's pay-per-view, the people who would buy Anthony Joshua's pay-per-view, right? And it broke down like this. I'm not talking about the potential people. I'm talking about the people who themselves, according to the surveys, said that they are avid fans. 3 demographics: European American fight fans, the Latino fight fans, but 90% of those are Mexican and Mexican American fight fans, and African American or black fight fans, right? So they looked at who exactly were the fans. Number one, are they sports fans, right? 60% of the Mexican or the Latino crowd said, yes, we are avid sports fan. We are interested in, we wake up and go to sleep actively having conversations, thinking about sports. That is one of our major pastimes. That is our entertainment, right? 60% of Latinos, majority of Mexican and Mexican American said that they were sports fans, right? 50% of African Americans or black people in America said that they were avid sports fans. If I get the number correct about European Americans, somewhere around 50-60% said that they were average, that they were sports fans. But of that group, they were asked, who are boxing fans, right? Boxing fans. Half of that said that they were boxing fans, and half of that said that they were avid fans. 50% of avid sports fans were boxing fans, and 50% of those were avid boxing fans. Okay? Got it? So of all of the Latino sports, but only, I do believe it was somewhere around 6 or 7% of the European American fans considered themselves to be boxing fans, and only like 25% of them considered themselves avid boxing fans. So although the Euro American or European American, there's a tremendous population, the interest in boxing is very, very minimal. They love sports, but they don't love boxing. And of the people that like boxing, very few of them consider themselves to be avid fans. So in the United States, UK Dummies for boxing, US Boxing for Dummies, the 2 major fan bases in the United States are the Latinos and the Black American fight fans. Those are the people that pay the bills in boxing. Okay? Now, we all know that boxing is heavily nationalistic, it's heavily ethnically focused. Okay? That's why you know and can predict what the pay-per-view buys are going to be depending on who the fighter is and the degree to which they're popular within the demographics that are avid boxing fans. The 2 most popular boxing boxers are going to be Mexicans and African Americans. Those two demographics are the people that buy boxing, not the European American, not the European, which is why you see that Jermall Charlo, and even though everybody was crapping on Jermall Charlo and Jermell Charlo's performance on Fox, more people watch Jermell Charlo and Jermall Charlo than Vasyl Lomachenko. On average, more people will watch Jermall Charlo and Jermell Charlo, or as many as somebody that is highly publicized like Lomachenko. That's why Terrence Crawford on ESPN, even though he gets a lot less promotion, is more popular than the person that gets a ton of promotion in Vasyl Lomachenko. So when you look at Tyson Fury and you say something ridiculous like Tyson Fury is the reason that Deontay Wilder did over 325 to 400,000 pay-per-views, that's why we know as Americans you don't know what you're talking about. Because all that means is that Deontay Wilder solidified his base. And I can prove it through anecdotal evidence with Floyd Mayweather Jr. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Andre Berto, had a fight within his own demographic, an African-American fighter against another, he is Haitian, right? A Afro-Caribbean fighter, right? Who lives in the United States. I do believe he's raised in the United States. His fan base were black fight fans. Why he does 400,000 pay-per-views. 400,000 pay-per-views. When Canelo Alvarez fights Liam Walsh, and he's the only Mexican American in the equation, and he's not fighting on a Mexican holiday, which is May 5th, the first week of May or the second week of September. But stick with me, UK fans. I know you don't understand this, but go through it and think about it, right? Double check what I say. That's why he'll do 400,000, 450,000 pay-per-views, because he is tapping into the hardcore Mexican fan base that is going to buy pay-per-views for him if he's the only one on the card. And that's the logic that I used to come up with my number when I predicted that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury would do between 300 and 350,000 pay-per-views, because I know what the raw number of avid African-American fight fans is. The 350,000 pay-per-view that he got, 325 to 400,000, was overwhelmingly due to the fact that people within Deontay Wilder's own demographic decided to pay for the fight. We already know that Deontay Wilder has over 1 million people watch him fight almost every time he fights. And of those million, you have about 350,000 people that would be willing to pay to see him fight. The other roughly 650,000, 700,000 are people that probably went to the houses and chipped in on the pay-per-view buys. Or they illegally streamed them. Deontay Wilder has his own demographic of boxing fans in the United States, and they're African American, or the way that I like to say it, black fight fans. Shout out to Black Fight Fan TV. That's why you guys don't get it. You hate on the cats in the LDBC, and you don't understand why it is that their videos get so many views. Why their live streams get so many super chats. Why so many people listen to them. Why you can have a channel with 8,000 subscribers, but 700 people in their live stream every morning to listen to what they want to talk about. Because that is the core of the fan base. It's the core of the demographic. To proposition or put out the proposition that somebody from the UK, if he did come to the United States, would be a Euro-American fan base, that they're the reason why the demographic for Deontay Wilder turned out is ludicrous. Ludicrous. Now, there is a chance, however, that Tyson Fury can take advantage of something that happens, which is people within that African-American fan base vouching for you. Sort of like an Eminem. People are like, I don't like what this guy is talking about. I don't know, but God dog, he is highly skilled. Yeah, this dude is super skilled. Let's give him a shot. Let's play his albums. Yeah, oh man, it's because it's a demographic. The demographic does not grant you talent. It doesn't make you do the hard work. But it is your base. It is your base. The pay-per-view for Deontay Wilder came from Deontay Wilder's base. That Deontay Wilder worked hard to secure. But do you know why people in the UK don't understand that? Because they're not from the United States. That's why you don't understand it. And that's why you have no standing to make your argument. Anthony Joshua, and let's talk about other anecdotal evidence. There's something called the Boxing Writers Association of America. Now I'm talking about the owners of these people who sell boxing. Media is connected to the other distribution networks. The networks, the promoters, the managers, they get relationships and give them access to the fighters, right? They interview the fighters. They tell you when the promoter is going to air the fight, what network it's going to be on, all of that. The owners of that are primarily, not exclusively, but primarily European American. Primarily. And if you want proof of, first of all, we just know that because we're here. That's what it is. But if you look at the Boxing Writers Association of America, there literally are more members of the Boxing Writers Association of America who are European Americans than there are world-class European American fighters. The bulk of the participants, the bulk of the European American participants in boxing are in media. They're not fans. They're not boxers. They are reporters. And they are they are the managers of the network, managers of Showtime, managers of DAZN, managers of, not DAZN because DAZN ain't US, but managers of ESPN. They're the ones that own the distribution network. They're the ones that own the banks. They're the ones that are the funnel for the money and organize and own the infrastructure by which the fighters are shown to the fight fans. But the consumers, since we're talking about stardom is a function of whether or not people buy your fights, come from the main demographics, which is why the biggest fights on pay-per-view always have, without exception, I do believe, all have African or African-American fighters in them. And the ones that don't have Mexican or Mexican-American fighters involved in them. Like a Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya. Because those are you're not going to get 2-3 million pay-per-views. Now, interestingly enough, though, when was a European or European-American involved in a massive pay-per-view in the United States? When an MMA fighter participated. Because the MMA is not boxing. And most of the avid fight fans who are European American are fans of the MMA. So when you had an MMA fighter combined with a boxer, boom. Just like when you have a Mexican and a black who are both popular within their demographic, 1 + 1 = 20. Because when those two build up that buzz, that will then bring in the casual. Because for the most part, the largest number of casuals are the European American casual boxing fan but they are more into MMA than they're into boxing. But don't take my word for it. Watch my next prediction. When you ask me how many pay-per-views something is going to do, I can already tell you what they're going to be. Deontay Wilder, and I will be shocked if I'm wrong about this, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury will be outperformed by Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia. Because Mikey Garcia brings a Mexican fan base, even though he's not overwhelmingly popular with Mexican fans. And Errol Spence Jr. will bring Black American fight fans together, which are two different demographics meeting up in Dallas, Texas. That is what you call peanut butter and chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups. The shit tastes good together. Tyson Fury was just the guy who had something to offer that Deontay Wilder picked to fight, and that the owners of boxing said, now it's time to roll the dice. Let's put him on pay-per-view. Let's start promoting him. Let's try to push him out and publicize him to his demographic and to Mexican demographics. Because another thing about the heavyweights, because there's not a lot of Mexican heavyweights, but it's the top of the boxing sport. When you have a really big fight, a lot of Mexicans will buy the fight. That's when you're going to get to 1 million pay-per-view. When Deontay Wilder not only solidifies his fight base, his fan base, but he also garners enough interest from the Mexican American, and Latin speaking fan bases for them to feel like, hey, you know what? I want to buy the fight too. That's when you get up to those 1.5, 2 million pay-per-views, because that's the demographic in boxing in the United States. Okay. So I hate that I went a little long. This is like twice as long as I usually do a video. I used to do these this length a lot of the time, but it is what it is, okay? Deontay Wilder is the star in the United States. He's the growing star. It's not Tyson Fury. It's not Anthony Joshua, but you wouldn't know because you're not from here. And with that, I'm out. Peace.